All right. And after country come the people that make all of this possible. So may we please express our gratitude to all of uh, our members, corporate members, special partner institutions, senior special partner institutions, and individual members, without whom we would not be here today. Uh, so good morning to everyone. I am your chairman, Julius Barcelona. It's nice to see people bright and early as always for our weekly sessions. And today we have quite the interesting session in store for us. So for social media purposes, if you are joining us 2 weeks later through our social media, such as our YouTube or our Facebook, welcome. It's nice to see you, and we hope you enjoyed today's session. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation, in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, is a non-profit member-supported organization. If you are interested and you like what you see, and you'd like to join us as a member and gain access to our wide network of agribusiness and countryside development organizations, as well as joining us in real time for our sessions to engage with our speakers, consider joining us as a member. Send us an email and introduce yourself to us at at register@map-abcdf.org. The link is in our description. Unfortunately, our speaker is still not online. Well, in any case, since the speaker isn't online yet, I'd like to invite maybe uh, some of our guests, uh, if they to talk about if they have any if they can express their particular interest in this topic. Personally, I think environmentally sustainable housing is a very important thing that we need for our country, considering that we have we're living in the tropics, to be honest. And but we're designing our buildings as if we're living in a temperate country. So we've really moved ourselves towards a system where we're not taking advantage of the natural challenges, the natural conditions that we live in here in the Philippines. So most of our buildings are, they're no longer designed to have um what you call this to protect us from the harshness of our environment, the humidity and the heat and things like that. But one of the things that I found that was very interesting is that if we take a look at old houses, they really make it a point that like if we take a look at some of the old houses, there's like actually a hallway between the outer windows and then the inner rooms, which actually blocks a lot of the sunlight from entering the rooms themselves. And in older homes, they'd even put things like large jars of water outside the windows, so that as it evaporates, it will actually cool the wind that enters into the houses. And then they would also have, interestingly enough, similar to the Japanese, we would have we would have sort of vents, places for wind to pass through close to the ceiling in these old houses, especially those with high ceilings, so that there's the wind that enters the house can actually go through the entire house, and that would actually keep the inside of the house fairly cool, even during the height of summer. Now we don't have that. Most of our buildings are just flat boxes that absorb a lot of solar radiation during the day and then just makes it incredibly hot inside because there's no proper ventilation. Inside is all just walls and everything. So I think, although I don't know if that's what if those principles will be um, part of our speakers session this morning, but you know personally I have an interest in environmentally friendly design, from the perspective of what are building principles or architectural design principles that adapt to local conditions rather than simply trying to get the cheapest materials and the most cost-effective way of building a building. Because I understand that the modern architecture, very boxy architecture is a result of trying to make sure that costs that we're very cost effective with our buildings and the like. But well, sometimes that's not really the best way for us to go about doing things. I don't know. Have any of our members who are currently in attendance been involved with, housing projects or infrastructure projects like this? And if so, maybe you can share with us certain insights that you see when it comes to possibly sustainable design or environmentally friendly design.
Julius, may I suggest we have two guests who I think are involved in engineering or architecture.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be Don and Ludi. Maybe they can say something about themselves since we don't know them that well. And to reply to your question also.
All right, that's a great suggestion, Bernie. Yeah, sure. I'd like to invite Engineer Don and Miss Ludi at the suggestion of Bernie to maybe tell us a bit more about yourself, since this seems to be according as she said, you are involved in these activities.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah,
Hi.
I'm Ludi. I'm an environmental engineer. Okay. So actually, my interest here is making use of recycled plastics. So it's waste materials into raw material for some, let's say, so for the housing project. Yeah, that's why I'm interested here. Yeah. Mhm.
So you already currently do recycling of plastics into raw materials for building.
Actually, I'm more into environmental management. So for the project, so not yet really. It's more of a waste segregation. Like now, I'm involved with the Plaridel water supply system. So it's the design and construction. So it's more of the construction management of construction materials. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Making use
nice.
of those. Yeah.
I see, I see. Well, it's very nice to meet you, Ludi. I hope,
Thank you. Nice meeting you too.
yeah. I hope once our speaker comes online,
Yeah.
we'll be able to help you with these concerns. Engineer Don unfortunately says he's in transit. I did see he did turn on his video earlier. He said he's on a bus and he won't be able to speak. He also did say that he's also unable to reach Winchester. I hope he's okay. Baka may nangyari kay Winchester. But anyway, I hope he's fine and that he'll be able to join us soon. But in any case, no worries. But it is interesting, right? I think we see a lot of these videos online regarding people that are trying to find ways to recycle plastics into building materials. And it does seem to be a very interesting material to work with, especially because you can mold it into bricks and then, like Legos, they can be stacked. That does mean that they're very good for what you call this for building small structures very quickly because they're a lot less what we call this like there's not that many materials that need to be used for it. um Although I what do you call this I'm not sure how well it's been accepted as like a proper building material for like larger structures yet.
Julius, excuse me. It
Sure, Bernie.
seems Winchester has replied. Just give him a few minutes now. Sorry for the delay. I
Okay.
wonder, do you think it would be a good idea to play the video first that he sent, which introduces the company?
Oh,
Anyway, what's important is for us to be able to interact with him after
okay.
we get his inputs, diba?
Hmm.
But since the video is already with us, maybe we can run it now while waiting.
Okay, sure. Thanks very much for that. Sure. So great news that uh our speaker is finally coming online. It's good to know that nothing happened to him. And yeah, sure. As you suggest, since he sent us a video, let's play that first while waiting for him. Uh,
Vivian, please play
Vivian,
the
please
video.
play the video.
When we started this, we are producing around 500 school chairs per month. But in full scale, when we are getting a lot of plastic waste from everywhere, we can already say that full scale capacity of our plant can produce around 2,000 school chairs, and the impact is around 90 to 120 tons of plastic waste per month. I am Mr. Winchester O. Lemon. I am the President and CEO of Envirotech Waste Recycling Inc. We are located here in Davao City, Philippines, and we are operating in the southern part of the Philippines. The main objective of the company is really to cover up marine pollution and at the same time the landfill waste. We want to divert all these items and convert them into different products. The primary product that we produce is a school chair, and it's made from 100% single-use plastics. The one school chair is around 30 kilograms, and it's a big impact, especially here in the Philippines, because we have a lot of soft packaging material which are always being discarded in the landfill. And oftentimes you see them in the shoreline of the Philippine shore. So we intend to cover them and recycle them, and at the same time making sure that it will not be a waste and it can be used by communities and other establishments. Our solution is very much unique because we are a one-stop shop. We recover, recycle, and produce different types of products all in one. When I started doing this kind of advocacy, nobody believed that we can already process them and convert them into different products. It was really an honor to be picked, and I believe that joining the program will really boost our company. The Philippines is already number 3 in the world polluter. So what we intend to do is bring it down, and this is the right platform and solution. And joining this is really an honor for our company. Here in the Philippines is very wide when it comes to recovering of the plastic waste. So we use it for our transportation, we use it for the pickers, and we use it for our company internally. We incentivize all the people that brings in our plastic materials to make sure that the plastic items that they recovered can be delivered in our facility. Right now, we are about to launch also our Enviro-Home, which is composed of 3,000 kilograms of plastic waste, and at the same time, you can build it in one day. So we want to make sure that the plastic waste that been discarded can be used or can be used as endless possibility.
Okay, that's a great introduction to Winchester's work. And it's very nice to see that here he is right now, just in time.
Is Winchester on now? Because I'd like to share 1 minute with him. Is he on? Not yet.
Yeah, he's just come on.
Okay. Hi, Winchester.
Good morning.
Hi, Winchester.
Hi,
Good morning. Thank you.
morning.
Salamat na dumating ka all the way from the wisdom of Davao. Winchester, in-introduce kita nung wala ka. Sinabi ko, napakagaling mo. Founder ka, entrepreneur, meron kang connection sa basketball, Navy, at pinag-usapan yung pinaka-importante, di ba? Yung environment, tapos yung waste, tapos technology. Kasi itong forum namin, gamit talaga concerns, especially technology, no? Napakaganda. So
Yes,
ito
sir.
lang sasabihin ko sa iyo, no, pare. Sabi ng department chairman namin, sa English na lang, baka nakikinig. Kasi dahil kay Julius bagong board, 20% of our audience is abroad, no? Sa Asia,
I see.
sa East,
I see.
sa Europe, sa America. Englishin ko na, no? English naman ito, English. Na-excite
Yeah.
lang ako. Pare, dalawang request lang, pare. Unang-una, in 5 minutes or less, gusto namin kasi, may relationship tayo, and the people listening, even those abroad, they want to know who you are, no? So 5 minutes, tell us about yourself, And how you got interested in this, yung personal aspect, partner. 5 minutes
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
And then, second request ko, partner, kasi ito, kasi kami, hindi forum for education. So, ang department chair namin, eskwelahan na yan. Ang trabaho ninyo sa forum, I'm sorry, English, as our department chairman said, our job in the forum is to do what the foundation says. Agribusiness development and countryside development. I want you to help get the forum speaker and his wisdom and translate it into action. So
Yeah.
during your talk, partner, if possible, as part of say how we can help you. Now we're not students, di ba? Students
Yeah.
probably better than us, but we're businessmen. We have connections with government, banks, agribusiness, etc. No? So kung pwede, part of your speech is what are you all about, di ba? 5 minutes. Yeah. And the other part is, what can we do, partner? We the listening people here and abroad, what can we do to help you? Ngayon, ang emphasis namin is not industry, no? It's agriculture. Halimbawa, kung meron kang waste cycling or, if you put some part in agriculture, for example, the waste of the manure of the pigs and chicken, or this is recycling of the water, di ba? Wala nang tubig, I'm sorry, English na naman. Anyway, yun lang po. Thank you for coming. Number one, just 5 minutes about yourself. We want to know you. You're so impressive. I said, I liked your background. Diba? Tell us about yourself. And then at the end, tell us, how can we help you? Because we want action. We want to do action. Of course, we'll do action from what you learned. But how can we help you do action by spreading it to other people? Whether it's getting more money from the banks or with connections or going to government people with connections, etc. Salamat, ha? Salamat. Yun lang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Let me introduce again myself. Is it okay? I can start already.
Please, yes, please,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. I am Mr. Winchester Oleman. I'm an advocate of environment, and I started this company in the year 2010. But way before that, I've been recycling all types of plastic waste since my college days, because my father is one of the pioneers in this kind of business, and he was my inspiration to, when it comes to recycling of plastic. He is the pioneer of recycling of the styrofoam. And after my collegiate days, I intend to recycle the ones that are being left behind, or the ones that are being discarded in the landfill. So my background is I'm a mechanical engineer. I studied in Mapua Institute of Technology, and I have 3 kids, and I am based now here in Davao City. I grew up in Metro Manila, and I know the landscape of Metro Manila when it comes to recovering of the plastic waste. The very reason why I intend to continue the legacy of my father is because I want to show to the Philippines that I can really help in reducing the plastic waste. And at the same time, it's not very easy to do this. The very task of our company is to really educate, and at the same time making sure that it will not end up as a marine litter, because we have a target by the year 2050. There will be more plastic in the ocean than the fish. That's why we have to reverse that cycle. Otherwise, the future generation will be the one to suffer. So if you don't mind me showing a short video of what I've been doing, so that you will have a grasp of what can we do and how can we elevate this practice in the whole country. I want to share my screen.
Winchester, how can we call you for short?
You can call me Win, or you can call me Chester, whatever is more comfortable to you.
We decided to play a while ago the video.
Oh, okay.
That you sent us.
Mhm.
It talked about the company and that you were
Okay.
launching the Enviro-Home. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that okay na? Kasi I think you sent us two, one was the PowerPoint presentation,
Mhm.
and then one was the video. So we showed the video now,
Oh,
but
okay.
we didn't show yet the PowerPoint presentation.
I see. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Well, since everyone saw the video already, it's basically I am the only company who's doing this as far as I know, because some of the companies are just mixing it for around 5%, 10% of the plastic waste. And the advantage of our company is really to when we recycle the plastic, we can recycle the laminates or the foil ones, the ones that are being packed in junk food. We can recycle it at a rate of 50%, and there's no company who can do that. When we recycle 50%, we mix it with other plastic waste like grocery bags, candy wrappers, and all sorts of flexible plastic waste. Because the plastic flexible waste are the ones that being discarded and just ending up in the landfill. That's why we are here to promote this kind of advocacy, because we believe that we can solve this problem in our country. And by allocating or by locating different facilities all over the country, we can have a successful recycling of all types of plastic waste, and we do not have to implement the no plastic packaging in the whole Philippines. Because if we are going to ban the plastic, like for example sandbags, we are still having a problem because some of the workers will be laid off because nobody will produce the plastic anymore. And the plastic was introduced in the whole world to make our lives better, to make it easier in our lives, because we cannot go back to the ages wherein you have to pack it with paper, you have to pack it with banana leaves. So what we are really after is to make sure that the plastic that we are producing, we can still recycle them and convert them into different products.
Yeah, excuse me, Lemon. Sandali lang, Lemon.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask the chairman's direction, no? Because Bernie had a good suggestion. Mr. Chairman, Lemon is already doing his passionate speech, which is great. But Bernie said we show the video, but not yet the PowerPoint. Mr. Chairman, do you want Lemon to show his PowerPoint or no more PowerPoint? What is your decision, Mr. Chairman? Do you want
Well,
Mr. Lemon to show his PowerPoint?
Yeah, we can. I think we can let Win proceed at his own pace with the presentation. I think. Yeah.
O sige, Lemon, bahala ka. Pero yung PowerPoint, kung makatulong, pakita mo, palagay ko, napakaganda rin ng PowerPoint. Katulad ng video, katulad mo. Okay,
Thank
bahala
you.
ka.
Okay,
Palagay
thank
ko
you.
si PowerPoint siguro, baka maraming maganda doon eh. Thank you, bye.
Okay. I'll try to share my screen now. Okay, good morning to everyone again. I'm Mr. Winchester Oleman, and I would like to present our company. The company's Enviro-Tech Waste Recycling Inc. And so Enviro-Tech was a brainchild born out of my desire to help clean the environment. What I wanted to do was to come up with a system that can recycle mixed of plastic waste, or what we call now the single-use plastics, into useful products. There are two kinds of plastic waste. We have the rigids, which are the packaging for liquid materials, and then the other one are the soft plastics, which are being sold in the stores, and it's being distributed all over the country. I'm happy to say that the fruits of my labor are now finding their way into public schools here in the Philippines. This has benefited many children and many students already. With this in mind, I strongly encourage you to join me in building a nation that is free of single-use plastic waste. This will ensure a brighter future for the generations to come. We are located here in Davao City, which is in the southern part of Mindanao. And we have different locations already when we started in 2010. So why are we doing this? Of course, every year the world produces around 300 billion tons of plastic waste. And it takes around 10 to 1,000 years for most plastic waste to decompose. More waste are generated as the years pass. We all know that it's being left over the Pacific Patch, and a lot of fish and of course marine mammals are confusing it as food. So they just ending up killing the fish because of the food that they intake, and those are plastic waste that cannot be dissolved by the fish. And among the causes of plastic pollution is the lack of waste disposal facilities. 80% of waste found in the ocean are actually from land-based sources. And as stewards of the earth, it is our responsibility to address the perennial plastic problem that threatens the environment. We all know that we are the number 3 in the world polluter. So we have to find a way on how to reduce this problem. Otherwise, we'll be a top-notcher. With the participation of different barangays and communities, Envirotech collects all types of plastic waste, namely candy wrappers, pet bottles, shampoo sachets, or styrofoam is included, and also all the broken sacks, any type of plastic that you can imagine, we can still recycle them into different products. These waste, instead of piling up in an already full landfill, are recycled into sustainable furniture and other products. We are also handling the reforestation because our primary product, which is the school chair, we are reducing or making sure that every tree will not be cut, because one tree is converted into one school chair. So we are saving a lot when it comes to producing the school chair that is very, very lacking in our country right now. If you don't mind, the volume that we are looking at right now is around 5 million. It ballooned already when I started it in 2010. It's just around 1.8 million. Now it's already 5 million. Imagine that. It's going to get higher and higher every year if we will not do anything about it. So this is the plastic situation in the Philippines. We have 2.7 million metric tons of plastic waste generated every year. Imagine those pile of plastic waste that cannot be recovered and recycled into different products. And 70% of the Filipino population has no access to disposal facilities and sanitary landfills. That's why they're just ending up putting it under the soil or just burning it right away, so that the Senro or the Mendo will not check on the plastic waste that they will be storing or giving away, because it's very hard for us to maintain or to throw it properly. The very reason why I'm doing this is because we have to educate the people, because right now all the dump trucks are just collecting it unsorted, and people are very lazy just to sort the plastic waste. I, for one, sometimes I forget to segregate or to sort the non-bio and the biodegradable, but I make sure that I pile it up and then put it in one corner, so that when the time comes that the dump truck or the collector will come, they will just get the plastic waste. So there are still 403 open dump sites and 108 controlled dump sites in the country. So this is the data of the Philippines. We have 4,000 LGUs, 17 regions, and one region is equivalent as a basic or theoretical value around 158,823 tons. Imagine that pile of plastic waste. So we have to do something about it. And as of the moment, we have around 5 facilities. We have 5,400 tons of plastic waste can be recycled every year. And it's just a mere 3% to the total target of the Philippine data. So we are targeting around 2 facilities per region per year to cope up with the plastic waste problem. So we have to say this: plastic waste is not our problem and our enemy, because the plastic waste is the solution, and it can make it simpler. Our lives will get simpler because of this one. And what we are really after is to discipline everyone to make sure that it will be sorted and piled into one corner, so that when the time comes, well, we have to do the logistics right away, because as in the EPR law, we are really trying to find a way how to bridge the gap to the sorting and to the collection of the plastic waste. So the issue on the use of the single-use plastics can be addressed. We did it already for the past how many years. We are addressing this problem, and we are converting them into different products. And plastic waste can be turned into useful products. Installing recycling facilities, like what I mentioned earlier, in major cities will benefit communities and help reduce plastic waste. And it can also generate a lot of jobs. So how did we accomplish it? We collect, sort, we donate the ones that are being discarded, and we also make sure that we have enough plastic waste, and the ones that are being sold in the junk shops, we turn it over to the junk shops, so that we are creating a lot of synergy altogether, because we cannot, it defeats the purpose of doing this kind of advocacy if we are not going to give jobs to the junk shops anymore. So these are the synergies that we encountered, that the problem before that we need to solve, because junk shops are there to create also jobs for everyone. So I would like to introduce you some of our products, the furniture, and our primary product, the school chair. Let me tell you about something about our school chair. This school chair is very different. It composed of 6 interlocking parts. So whenever there's a part that can be broken, we can replace it right away. Versus some of the mono blocks or the mono chair that you saw from the previous years in the classrooms. Some of them are just they can be broken right away. So you cannot replace it anymore, and it's a waste of money again. Versus in our school chair, if there's a part like the arm or the seating part will be broken, we can replace that part and you can still use the school chair right away. We have also picnic tables, different tables as well, and benches. This is also popular in our production because during pandemic, we need a social distancing bench. That's why we created the one in the middle. It's a social distancing bench. It was distributed all over Davao City for customers or clients that will be commuting. And we made also foot bath and foot dispensers for during the time of pandemic. And also plots and planters. And for construction materials, we made also planks, lumbers, boards, and also tiles for indoors and outdoors. So these are the application of the indoor or outdoor. So the tiles is very similar to the ceramic. The difference of this one is unbreakable. You cannot break the tiles very easily. You need a lot of compression strength because this one is around 12.7 kilonewton for flexural and bending. And the compression strength is 2,100 PSI. So definitely it's much more stronger than the regular ceramic tile. So we made also garbage bins for different companies, pallets, bricks, and for sports, we did also paddle and skateboards. If you know the pickleball, this was introduced also for pickleball, but we are finding a way on how to make it similar to the honeycomb structure, because right now it's a little bit heavier than the usual. And it was installed one of the houses here in Davao City, the application of the bricks. And we made also for giveaways, novelty items, pen holders. So this is the difference right now. It's 20-year warranty for our school chair. It's free replaceable parts. And it does not require cutting of trees because a 1 3-year-old tree is equivalent to a school chair. It's very sturdy and it also creates livelihood for everyone. And the bottom part is very nice because it's fire retardant. You can still use the school chair even if it's in hot temperature. Versus the ordinary one, there is no advantage out of it. So for our production, we can produce, we can recycle around. This is an old data. Well, we can recycle around 90 to 120 tons of plastic waste converted into 1,500 to 2,000 school chairs. So we are doing it 100%. There is no additive. Just wash it with water, and we mix it all together to come up with this kind of product. For the chemical content, it's very safe because the lead content is just 49 parts per million. So the US standard right now is 150 ppm. So that means it's way below the standard and it's very safe to use. For the mercury content, is 0. So it was tested under Intertech Philippines, and we made a new one under QSTI. So it's still the same. We garnered the same results. It's still way below the standard of the lead. And on your right side, we have a certification that we are the only company in the Philippines who's been doing this kind of advocacy since 2010. Moving forward, we want to do housing because we created already lumber, we created already boards. So we thought of doing this housing because we still have a big backlog of housing. We have around, when I started it, it's around 3 million something. And now it ballooned again into 6 million housing here in the Philippines. So it can also help in terms of doing the housing here in the Philippines. And for formworks, of course, we have a lot of contractors and developers who are very much interested with our product. They can use it for a staggering 50 times than the normal plyboard, or we call it phenolic board. They can just use it for 3 times, versus in our product, they can use it 50 times already. And later on, as we go along, we want also to use it into plastic road. And this is the new concept, a very interesting one. It takes 1 day to build. It's called Enviro-Home. It has good ventilation. And like I said, you can use it for 25 years. And the volume of the plastic waste that we use from this kind of concept is around 3,000 kilograms of plastic waste. So that's big amount of volume, and then it can be converted into a 28 square meter house. It's 7 meters by 4 meters by 10 feet. So it's just a bungalow type. So later on, we can ask for architects and some of the structural engineers that can help us make it into a multi-layer level. So these are some of our partners. Miguel. And I want to show you some of our finished projects since 2015 to 2022. So we did also for Coke, we call it the love seat chairs. And we have also benches, trash bins. This was done in BGC, the lounging chair and the trash bin, of course. And in 2019, they did also a program for Mayor Isko that time. It's a lounging chair also under Coke. And we did a natural color picnic table, one of the companies here in Davao City. And we did also in Alliance, partnership with Alliance. It was installed in BGC in Taguig. So it's a bike lane project. So it's a multi-bike lane, because you can park your bike and then you can eat, and you can park also your bike. You want to go somewhere, go to the mall and then go back again. So it's a multi-purpose project. And some of them are using it for trellis. Some of them are using it for outdoor, like tiles in Iloilo. And also for fencing, we can also do that also. And the formworks, like I said, it's being used by contractors and developers. And Boracay, we supplied also lounging chairs for tourists. And in Silang, Cavite, Shell also got our products. And Gardenia for 2022. And now, 2023, we are also engaged with Department of Education here in Davao, and we want it in a national level later on. So some of our interviews, media partners, and we did also a partnership with Marriott Hotel a few years back. And I will leave you with this note: influence one individual, you will have one community. Influence one community, you will have one city. Influence one city, and you will have one region. And influence one region, you will have one nation. One nation as one. Thank you very much. We reuse your refuse.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Win. And a very inspiring story to tell us about your journey so far.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so in any case, up to what time can you stay with us, Win?
Well, I can stay for the whole day if you want.
Okay. I'm sure Bernie has already informed you that we separate our session into 2 parts. The first one is
Okay.
the formal session where you talk to us about what you do, and then we have a few questions.
Yeah.
And then after that, we have an informal session. So some people have to leave by 9 o'clock, but most people stay until 10 o'clock. So after we end our formal session, we'll introduce you to the members of our audience.
Yeah.
We'll give them some time to introduce themselves and to ask you questions.
Okay. Okay.
So for now, again, reminders regarding our session, our open forum. You can raise your hand using the reactions button. So there's a reactions button at the bottom of your screen. If you're using a computer or if you're on your phone, you should either see 3 lines or 3 dots. And if you press that, it should show you reactions and then it will allow you to raise your hand. Raising your hand will line you up for any questions that you might ask. Otherwise, you can also put your question in the chat box and then we'll line you up for questions apart from the ones that have already raised their hand. So I see Bernie Yap has already raised her hand. So Bernie, please go ahead.
Win, my question is, can you tell us about the economics of using or doing recycling?
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, when I started doing this in the year 2010, it was very raw. Nobody believed that I can reproduce it into different products. Of course, the economics of it, there's a vast opportunity. And until now, we still lack of recycling facilities all over the country. And by doing this kind of concept, we are creating a lot of jobs. We are creating a lot of opportunities for everyone. And by reducing the carbon dioxide in the country, we are introducing a lot of pure air, and at the same time, we can also engage with other countries with this kind of opportunity, and by doing that, the trade economy of our country will be very high, and at the same time, since we are creating jobs, there will be less workers that will go abroad because they are still with their families, and I myself. For once, I thought of going out of the country, but since I created this kind of system, this kind of advocacy, it's an opportunity for me to be here in the country.
Julius, may I have a follow-up? When, for example, the traditional school chair, the price of that versus the price of your school chair, give us an idea. And the costs also that go into it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. When I produced the first school chair in our factory, I really thought of the pricing already because, of course, it's very tedious, the cleaning and everything, but that goes into it. I find it hard to imagine that it will be lowered in a way that we want it to be because, Filipinos are really looking for a low price. And by looking at it in the long-term process, you are really saving a lot because our school chair before, right now, the price of our school chair right now is around 1,800 versus the school chairs that being produced that can be broken easily. We were talking of injection molding. When you mold a mono chair, it's very thin and it can be broken right away. This kind of mono chair, it's priced around almost the same as our product. When you go to the wooden chair, like the old chairs that we have, of course you can repair it. You can hammer it by using nails, and you can just refurbish it. It costs around 1,000 to 1,100 already. So the difference is not really that high because you are going to use the school chair of Envirotech at a very long time. So you are talking of around 25 years. The student that was sitting on it will have families already, will have a grandson or grandkids already, and that school chair that they use, it will still be there. So I'm talking of the long-term method than the normal way of computing it, wherein the difference will be a small one.
Hey, sige. I think we have a question. Yeah, we have a question in a chat box from Vicky. Vicky, may I invite you to state your question out loud for the audience?
Oh,
sorry, you're mute, Vicky. Yeah, there you go.
You mentioned,
Nope, sorry, you're still mute.
okay, hopefully I'm okay now.
Yeah, you're good, you're good.
I posted, you mentioned the lifespan for your product, no? Does that mean that once it's, it has reached its lifespan and hindi na pwede, no? Can that item be recycled again? Or it goes to, the waste thing already?
Yeah, it's a good question, ma'am. Actually, we covered that portion already. This is an
Yes.
endless possibility. If you break the part that was part of the product, we can still recycle it. You just bring it to us, and then we will recycle it the same method, the same process, and then you can still reuse the product right away.
I heard you also mention you are able to recycle 50%. What happens to the 50% of waste
No,
plastic?
ma'am. When I said the 50%, that's the mixture of the 100%. So the 50% of the laminates or the foil packaging will be mixed with other items also, like sandbag, candy washers, styrofoam. So every time we process it at 100%, the 50% of that will be
I see.
just for the foil packaging. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but the whole thing can be used.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do we have other questions from our audience? Hi, Bernie. Yeah.
Yeah, Win, my question is, can you talk to us more about it being a fire retardant? Because I was kind of surprised. I was thinking plastics, delikadong sunugin, di ba? And it has para petroleum base, so how could it be fire retardant?
Okay. Well, one secret of that one is because we are using aluminum. If you remember, we recycle them at 50% status. So the aluminum cannot be easily be burned, and at the same time, you need a high heat. And we also mix it with engineering plastics like ABS or other materials that can be a part of the mixture of the plastic waste. And some of them are we introduce also different items like uh, the ones that cannot be melted right away. Uh, our system really when we say fire retardant, it can still be burned. The beauty of this one, you still have time to go out of your house if it's built into plastic house, or you can monitor them. I mean, if it's in tile form, you can still have time to go out. It's going to melt at first, and then at high heat, it's of course it will burn after that. So the system is just to prevent you from being burned right away. I mean, if there's a person inside the house, you can still go out of your house. So for me, it's not fireproof. It's just fire retardant.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Our next question. Well, we do have. It is already 8:57, so I think we can reserve our other questions for the informal session. Oscar and Ike, just give me a bit of time so that we can end our formal session properly. Maybe I can invite. Is Ernie still around? No, I don't think Ernie is around anymore. Okay, so I think well normally we close our formal session with some remarks from Ernie, our president. But essentially, what he likes to ask is, how can we help you? The whole point of the Agribusiness Countryside Development Foundation is we have a network of people around the country, and we like to see if there are ways that we might be able to help you with your advocacy, with your program moving forward. So what are the things that you feel that things that you still need help in that we might
Okay.
be able to help you with?
Yeah, that's a very good question, sir. Actually, I've been doing this for the past 23 years. So, for me, I can see the landscape already. It's a chicken and egg problem. Who will go first? Because right now, even if you present it to all the LGUs in the country, they are still going to ask you this question. Um, how are we going to implement this? Because we lack funds. So for me, the technology is here. Some of the countries are already asking me, how come you cannot bring the technology in the other country? In our country, for example, Africa, we have an inquiry there. We have a lot of uh, uh, we have a lot of inquiries that will tell us, they will always say us, bring the technology here, bring the technology here. But I say no, because I want to help the country first. And this technology cannot last forever. Somebody will come in, and of course they will just re-engineer this process. But for me, I don't want to hide it from everyone, because this is something that can be helpful to every community. And if we can install every facility in the country, in every LGU in the country, then we will have no problem in terms of producing into school chairs, producing the housing, because this one alone, it will take us around 20 years to solve. Because if we are not going to act up now, it's going to balloon and balloon. It will go higher. So for me, the first thing that we need to do is to create funds for this one. And then later on, we can subject it to every LGUs or every company, for that matter, that can that has CSR. And now, since there is an EPR already, then we can also help reduce their plastic waste problem, because the EPR law states that in this year, we need to get around 20% of the whole volume of your production and turn it into a different item. So the waste diverters like me, it can help this company to reduce their plastic waste, and so on and so on. Because in the year 2027, they should give around 80 to 90% of their whole production into waste diversion. So if you're going to ask me, I need to create funds for this one, and then help reproduce or recreate this facility into different main LGUs all over the country.
Okay, okay, I see. All right, and just exactly on time, it's 9 o'clock. So we'd like to end our formal session, but again, we'll have our informal session after this for our further discussion. But we'd like to end our formal session for the benefit of people who may have other appointments or need to go ahead. So let's first give our warm appreciation to Win for joining us this morning. May we please flash our certificate of appreciation? Okay, so the Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation Incorporated, in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, together with our partner institutions, special partner institutions, corporate members, senior members, individual members, the entire membership of our foundation, present this certificate of appreciation to Winchester O. Lemon for his invaluable support in the advocacy and promotion of agribusiness and countryside development, and for his commendable and unselfish services rendered to this foundation as our resource speaker, given this 16th weekly online meeting of 2023, May 9, Makati City, Philippines. Signed myself as our chairman and Ernie Ordonez as our and for our session next week, another interesting topic. Thanks very much, Bernie. For those who are interested in more affordable ways of producing copra, our session for next week will be about sorry, can we flash that on screen? A solar powered dryer for white copra by engineer Clifford Tagaktak, acting division chief of the Philippine Coconut Authority in Zamboanga, the Zamboanga Research Center. So copra still remains to be the main product of coconut farmers in the Philippines, and it's good for us to explore affordable technologies that can be implemented to improve the efficiency of its production. So for those of you who are interested in this topic, or those of you who might know someone who's interested in this topic, we encourage you to invite them to register for next week's session. Okay, and before we end our formal session, may I please invite everyone to turn on your cameras for a quick group photo. Yeah, so maybe Maki or Vian, you can count us in.
Alright po, one page lang po tayo. So, smile on 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay po, thank you po.
All right, thanks very much. So with that ends our formal session for this morning. If you do have to go ahead or you have further appointments, thank you very much for joining us. And if you're joining us 2 weeks later through our social media, thank you again for joining us this morning. And we hope that our session has been one that gives you a few ideas on what you might be able to do. If you're interested in supporting WIN, let us know and we'll help you get in touch with them. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation, in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, is a non-profit member-supported organization. If you're interested in joining us as a member and gaining access to our wide network of agribusiness and countryside development organizations, or just joining us live for our sessions every week and engaging with our speakers and our other members, do consider joining us as a member. Send us an email and introduce yourself at register@map-abcdf.org. Our link is in the description. And with that, for those of you who do need to go ahead, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and we hope to see you next week. Have a good day.